All right, Pavement Rehab, license plate 56673 David. 56673 David. This coward's moving because I'm documenting him. 56673. Looks like David 3. That is Pavement Rehab. This is light activity. And he's been stalking in the path. And Pavement Rehab has been stalking in the path and further into psychological torture, which I'm going to prosecute that company for criminally. And also the third party operating that vehicle. I already have images of it. He's engaged in surveillance while I'm at the turn circle. And the city of Ontario is stalking by dumpster trucks. And the entity is stalking by commercial planes. Pavement Rehab is over here creating light activity. While you will see the airport moving as I move. This is Paul Leon's prosecution. He's also being federally prosecuted because the city of Ontario is stalking him further into murder, and the people of the state are. While now the entity is United Airlines is flying over downtown Ontario luxury apartments. I've documented and published the evidence of them stalking, flying over the senior center, where the city of Ontario is emptying the dumpster with regard to light activity and amplified audible activity at the senior center, which is stalking in the path, just like this, under the which is no longer at the Ovid Family Community Library. You're looking at my pictures as you see the environment and the stalkers themselves. Paul Leon's being federally prosecuted. He is a demon, and he is also a fake pastor at a fake church. He's a demon. He's a monitoring spirit, and that's why he's hiring monitoring spirits. That's why they're monitoring in the city of Ontario. That's why the city hall, the Ontario City Hall, is where gang stalking is underway, which is demonic. Pavement Rehab is going to be federally prosecuted. They're sitting right here engaging in surveillance. They're gang stalking me while I am at this library at the side of it. The fake sun's at the side of it. Securitas, Page One Cafe. They're all monitoring, and the airline companies are plane after 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 plane, which is this conduct. What? These are demons pacing. This body, this body, this body. These vehicles are all bodies. They're communication devices while the city of Ontario is maintaining light activity. You're looking at the same elements of monitoring, the same psychopathic pacing. These are demons. And they're monitoring. Remember, they're not just stalking, following me from place to place like the airport is clearly doing, as the population is clearly doing, as I show you the fake sun. They're monitoring. So while they're stalking me, they're engaging in what is pacing all around me while they follow me from place to place, city to city, county to county, state to state. Physical position, operation of my device from one use of it to the next. Downtown Ontario Luxury Apartments, Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, Pavement Rehab, Page One Cafe, that's the city of Ontario as well, Metro 102 Apartments, Downtown Ontario Luxury Apartments, the John Stewart Company, the Senior Citizen Apartment Complex, the Ontario City Hall, the University of Laverne College of Law. The entity is engaging in this pattern, incorporating all of these businesses and all of the functions of the city of Ontario, and Paul Leon's being prosecuted. Okay, this is a funding of terrorism, which is a federal offense. It's an act of terrorism, and the removal of all the means whereby the city is funded with regard to terrorizing me, like every department regarding the city of Ontario. Okay, this is P.O.C. It is currently where the fake sun is over me, 7:05 a.m. Remember, while it's over me and I'm in McDonald's at the Ontario Mills, where I'm capturing the fake sun and engineer light, where they're inside of that restaurant and they're gang stalking, they're walking in something, they're ordering their food in something, and they are, again, overweight, staring at their devices, gang stalking, buying more Big Macs, buying more Egg McMuffins, buying more lattes while they're gang stalking with the city of Ontario. This is the pattern of conduct, and that which is over me at Lemon, which is over me at the Ovid Family Community Library, that which is pursuing stalking with light, demon-possessed people, they're engaged in that pattern of conduct together, and it is a very clear-cut pattern of conduct. This is Pavement Rehab, City of Ontario, a demon in their own vehicle, and they're all going to prison. Remember Amber and Isaiah last night? They're going to prison. This is what the entity shows about itself. They're going to federal prison, and no one's going to forget that, and no one's going to be crying for them either. This is P.O.C. This demon, that is the same entity pacing. License 70 Wendy Bob 391. That's a demon. License plate. These are demons. They're under the fake sun. They're mentally ill. License 9NOF399 and 8NMG855. And this is where the city of Ontario keeps the fake sun, the Ovid Family Community Library. There's no natural environment where it would still be here 7 hours later. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, because that's exactly what I have in the middle of the afternoon, in the evening, and in the morning at opening at 10 o'clock. This is the Ovid Family Community right here. While the entity communicates a threat with that flashing light coming towards you, while they're engaging in surveillance, this is pacing. They're doing that while you're documenting it. The domestic terrorists are going to be prosecuted as the enemies that they are. They're not getting any assistance from the government. They're going homeless. Feeding their children is not a government responsibility. It's not a government concern. These are enemies of the country, and their children are threats to us as well, while they're gang stalking with them. And they've been engaged in documented terrorizing me under the age of majority. This is that population. This is the P.O.C. And this is why Mike Lawrence is being federally prosecuted as well. It's 7:07 a.m. where the fake sun is in tow with me, and it's remaining while I go from city to city. That's exactly what I'm showing you in Fontana, California. This is what I'm showing you when I'm aboard Omnitrans. When I'm in the city of Pomona, where the entity is stalking just like the California, where there are also no terminals. And there are also no flights that would incorporate this. Southwest Airlines, headquartered in Dallas, Texas, is fully capable of engaging what is paying damages, which is what they're going to do. And these companies are not going to exist anymore. It's a threat to national security. Okay, this is P.O.C. This is at Lemon and B as in boy right here, where the entity is keeping the fake sun, where the entity is now, you can clearly see that where their planes are flying over the senior center. Now they're flying over here. They're progressing. That's stalking. Now, wherever it is I sit, like I showed you at the library, then they're engaging in this, wherever it is that I sit, because they're pacing all around me while they are stalking, because they're stalking by being where I'm at, and they're pacing all around. This is what the mentally ill are doing while I sit in a library and a fake sun stays all day long. This is a mentally ill population that's murdering people, psychologically torturing them, sexually violating them, engage in sexual activity with each other while they violate your privacy, and engage in that psychopathic conduct while they are engaged in public corruption, which is the city of Ontario. License 1465787, and that's the entity that's prosecuting Paul Leon for me, because he's going to prison. P.O.C. It's funding terrorism while you see the city of Ontario engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring the demons that are gang stalking as a municipality. P.O.C. It is currently 7:09 a.m. That is United Airlines. Take a good look. No longer doing cartwheels over the senior center. United Airlines is fully engaged in gang stalking me, flying over my head on the sidewalk at the 60 freeway at the south. That is the economy end. Flying over me with Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Amazon Prime Air, and they're gang stalking here where there are no flights. Okay, that elevation, that audible activity, City of Ontario, this is the entity that is showing you because they're mentally ill, and they become maniacal as I document them because I'm discerning demons right now. But this is for you to see their mental illness, which they cannot conceal. And the mentally ill are going to be removed from every area of society where they're a threat, including stalking you in commercial planes so that they can fly them into mountains and then report it on the news that it's an example, that it's an accident. It is an example of what is terrorism by United Airlines, which is a threat to this country. They're going to compensate. They're going to be criminally prosecuted. These company heads are going to prison, and so are the demons operating the planes. They're going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. This is already prosecuting the Ontario Police Department and the demons of the Ontario International Airport. They're not a board. They're not an executive team. They're being prosecuted. This is prosecuting the people, the companies, and the population that are the people. They're being prosecuted as well. They're going to prison. They're going to be deported. They're losing custody of their gang stalking children, and they will not be supported by the government whatsoever. And while they're engaging in terrorism, you're clearly not going to feel sad for them. It is for your protection that they are homeless. So they have nowhere to hide. They have nowhere to go. They can sit out monitoring on the street where the government will not be paying for them. If you can't take care of your children, you're losing custody of them anyway. The government will not be compensating any terrorists, and the reason being because they have minor children. They're a threat to those minor children. They're incorporating them in terrorism and sexual violence with impunity that they're showing you now, and that's exactly what's going to be relevant when terrorists are in family court and they're losing their kids. They're losing the demons that they're raising to engage in monitoring that is psychologically torturing in order to murder people. The dead are giving birth to kids, and they will not be supported by the government. The government will be taking them in order to cease training them to engage in terrorism like the city of Ontario is doing with the minors in the city. This is P.O.C. It's currently 7:11 a.m. That was United Airlines, Southwest Airlines, P.O.C.